I would like to ask you how you feel. What would be your reaction? How would you respond to the idea that you're completely happy right now? Well, that's good. I wasn't in the script. How would you feel that if you were convinced, if you really acknowledged the fact, realised, if you like, that you've always been happy, that you always will be happy and you're happy right now, and it's got nothing to do with the way you feel or your experience? How would you like that?
Yeah.
Would you be happy with that? Yeah. Would you be disappointed that you wasted your life looking for happiness? Would you feel frustrated or a little bit angry about the fact that every single day of your life, from morning till night, was an attempt to find happiness that you couldn't find? You couldn't find it because you were already it. And being already it is impossible to pursue it, to get it, to find it, to somehow come to it, because all attempts to find happiness are a denial of what it is that you actually are. You see, what you are is causal. It's what you actually were created as perfectly, and you can't find it. It's no good looking for it. It's no good seeking it. And that's what you did. Every day of your life you spent looking for happiness. It didn't matter what you were thinking, what you were praying for, or what you were actually doing, because all of it was the underlying purpose of finding happiness, and you never found it. All the things you did, all the wonderful things you did, all the praying, all the meditations, all the spiritual practice, the affirmations, the denials, the attempts to find God, all the good things you did for your brother, the giving, the loving, the kindnesses, that you thought in reciprocation, or at least in a cause and effect relationship, you would benefit from the giving of that. And you never did actually find that happiness. And you have to realise that that means that you totally wasted your life looking for something that you could never find. You were like a blind man looking in a dark cellar at night for a black cat that wasn't there. It was an impossible task that you set yourself, because it's not findable. There is no pursuit of happiness. You can't become happy, because all becoming is in time. And time is hell. As the Buddha said, there is no happiness in samsara. Samsara is time, and time is hell. But you can be happy. You can be happy because you are happy. Woo! Despite your experience, despite your feelings. That's the illusion. You can't get it. It's not gettable. It's not attainable. But you are it. You are it because you were created perfectly as God created you, this Holy Son, and that perfection is your perfect happiness. And any attempts that you make, any endeavours you make to find it, are a denial of what it is you actually are. You see, it's your very nature. You can't get rid of it. It's there, it's always been there, and it always will be there. Acceptance is all that can be asked of you, because you are perfectly happy right now. There is one thing you can do. Well, it's not really a doing. you can make a decision not to search for happiness. And if that's serious, and you make that serious decision, that will manifest in consciousness as a most extraordinary sacrifice. The sacrifice to surrender completely the desire for happiness. If you were to surrender completely the desire for happiness, you would surrender the desire for everything. Because everything is the desire for happiness. Whatever it is you desired, it doesn't matter how weird it was. It was still always for happiness. Because happiness, the desire for happiness, is the kingpin of all desires. Everything you ever did or thought or prayed for was for happiness. And when you give up the desire for happiness, you give up the desire for everything. And when you give up the desire for everything, you give up all the desires, you are desireless. And lo and behold, you're happy. Because that's what desirelessness is. It's a state of happiness. It's a state of total acceptance of what it is that you were created as. Perfect, whole and complete. And in a total congruency with your own nature, which is inherent happiness. We always believed that we had to do something. We always believed we had to get something. And we never had contentment. Not a true and real contentment of being, which comes about when there's no desire, when you're free from the pursuit of something else, something that you're not, something that you think you need and want. And when you allow that to happen, when you come to that state of consciousness where you allow yourself to accept what it is that you actually are, then you realize that happiness is a cause. It's not an effect. You looked at it as if it was an effect, something that could be got if you did something first. But it's not. It's a causation. We got upside down thinking. We reverse cause and effect. And we're looking for something that we actually are already. And when you see that, when you understand that, and that's at the very core of your being, you actually behold that, then you see that that causation begets the experience of happiness, not the other way around. The experience of happiness is not what happiness is. It's an experience, and all experience is in time, and all experiences has a beginning, it is an end, it has a middle, and it's temporal. It's not happiness, it's just an effect or an expression. The consequence of happiness. But you have to find what happiness really is. Shoo! Papa used to say, it's not tasting chocolate, it's being chocolate. I can relate to that.
And coffee.
What happens then, when that's realized, that happiness is really what you are and it's a causation, then you still do all the things that you were doing before. You still are being kind and loving to your brother. You're doing creative things. You're giving. You're praying. You're having meditations. You're joining with God. You're affirming and denying, and you're doing the Course in Miracles. But you're not doing it to find happiness. You're doing it because you're happy. See? It's all then an effect or an expression of real happiness. And you recognize and know what it is that you really are as happiness. So much confusion in human consciousness. So much misunderstanding about what happiness is. In the American Declaration of Independence it says you have the right to pursue happiness. There is no such right. There is no such pursuit. And there is no such happiness. It's all illusion. We are, as God created us, perfect, whole and complete. And in that completion and perfection we are perfectly happy. It's our very nature. And all we have to do is accept it. But in accepting we have to let go of all the need to pursue it, to get it, to find it, to experience it. The experience comes perfectly naturally from your acceptance of what you are. Until that is reached, this is what the Course says, all experiences of happiness that are short-lived are really fear. Extraordinary idea, isn't it? That happiness that is experienced that is short-lived is really fear. And that points to this truth of what I'm speaking of, that you are the happiness. So all you have to do is be it. Be it and then realize it. Realize it and then express it as the experience. Let me give you an example of this confusion. And this confusion, by the way, is deliberate. It's not imposed upon you. You're not victims. No, it's deliberate. We deliberately do not want to be happy. You can call it egoism, you can blame it on the ego, but it's your choice. Your choice not to be happy means you can maintain your independence, your autonomy from God, your separateness, your egoism. But is it worth it? That's the real sacrifice. And we do it in such a clever way, we cover it up in such a wonderfully clever way that we don't know what we're doing. And all the pursuing and all the getting, all the doing and all the thinking and praying is that same denial. I don't have to be happy. What the Course says on this is that the ego's dictum is seek but do not find. Yeah? Seek but do not find. And as long as you're seeking, you won't find. The finding comes when you cease seeking. Because when you cease seeking, lo and behold, you become content. And in your contentment you discover what you are. So the example I want to give you is that when you look for something that you really want, might be an idea, might be a position in life, a home, or a relationship, or even a healing, some spiritual attainment, some samadhi, some revelation, then what happens is the heart is pulled out. The heart is the seat of choice and it's the seat of desire, and it pulls away from the self that you really are, the self of God. And there's a separation of the heart and the self. And in that separation there's a discontentedness. Because there's a wanting. And that wanting takes you out of any form of being. There's no being. Until the point is reached where you get what you want. You achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. You attain what it is that you're trying to attain. And then the heart falls back into the self, because now you've got it. And there's no desire. And when the desire's gone, there's an experience of contentment, an experience of happiness. And it's got nothing to do with what we got, or what was attained, or what was achieved. It's simply because we've lost the desire. You see that? The desire's gone, and so now there's the experience of contentment and happiness. So what ego does is say, right, we got it now, all we have to do is make sure we attain what it is we try to attain, and we got it and we felt happy. Right, and we go again on the same track, over and over again. That's the human condition. And it's continuous, and it lasts a lifetime. Not just one lifetime, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of seeking and seeking to find that moment of happiness and contentment that is a delusion. And the real key was the fact that in that moment of happiness you weren't in a state of desire. Yeah. God bless you. God bless you for hearing this. When we realize that happiness is a cause and not an effect, what we realize is our power. Real power. God power. The power to express that happiness. You see, happiness is an aspect of love. So when we experience real happiness within, the causation, the real stuff, not the effect, the being happy, then the heart is open. And that love flows. And that love becomes the expression. And so the power is the power to forgive, the power to heal, the power to bring light into darkness, to bring goodness into this world, to bring life where there's death. And so then that power becomes your function. My function and my happiness are one. And it doesn't require any effort. It's not something to do. It's what you are, and it's what you can be. And so for that reason were we born. For this reason did we come into the world, that we may bear witness to the truth of what we are. Do you get it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Then I am happy. Music maestro.